Here we are today on the old railway bed down in Salmon Cove. Looking for a place to have a lunch and maybe get a good view. You guys should come along and join me. Come on. We're in the bushes a little bit here now, but we're about to break out with a spectacular view. And if I recall correctly, from probably a couple of years ago, coming down this way on a quad trip, there was a small picnic area partway along here, and that's where I want to stop today and have a little cup of tea and a bit of lunch. Back when the railway was going through, they'd often go across the side of the hills and so on, as they couldn't go steep over the hills. So they'd use the side of the hills as a ramp to get to the higher ground or to the lower ground. And that's basically what we've got here now. This is where the track passes along by Salmon Cove. And it's built right on the side of the cliff. Can you imagine though, back in the late 1800s, you're on a hard seat in a passenger car, on a train, probably being pulled by a steam engine, and you're coming along here so close to the cliff as this. Now granted, you wouldn't be going as fast as today's passenger trains, but still, you look down one side and it's all hill, and out the other window, you just see the rock. Wow, that must have been some time. What a fascinating time to be around. Out for a nice drive on the trail. This area here, I understand a few years ago, a lot of it had washed out, foundered, and had to be built up again. I'm guessing they blasted rock off the side to fill it. Built up a little bit of a berm here on the side. Not too bad a view. This is the second little bench that I've seen as we've come in here. Nice to have a place to sit down. It's obviously used a bit as a walking trail. Looks like a pretty deep pond too, actually. Nice beach around it though, very nice. I can just picture in these little turns like we have here, you're sitting in a passenger car on a train, and even at low speed, like 30-40 miles per hour, you're being thrown from side to side on these sharp turns. So the rail here was put in use somewhere around 1890. And within the next 30 to 40 years, it was no longer feasible, and the rail was being removed again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. There's a rock to be under. And we're almost up to our place of lunch. Just up ahead here is a little gazebo right on the track. We're going to stop there and get a cup of tea and have a bit of lunch. Me and a few of the boys stopped here a couple years ago on an overnight quad trip down to Old Perlican from Harbor Grace. Great spot to stop for a bit. Nice view. Gazebo, picnic table. Gazebo, picnic table. Let's take the picnic table. We'll get lunch right here. Better view. Little cabin down there in the woods. That's nice. He's right on the side of the river there too. Where the river runs out into the pond, it's nice small pea stone beach. Nice spot he got there. All right, I'm hungry. Let's get some lunch. We got to shed a couple layers here first thing. A little bit on the warm side. Well, I think if it wasn't for somebody revving their engines in the distance, I'd be able to hear the brook down there, the birds up in the trees behind me, the little bit of wind that we do have going through the trees and coming across the pond there. This is a northerly wind again today, so it is a little bit chilly. I'm sweating a bit, so I'll dry off now while I'm having lunch. Then we'll get on to go and head back. We got our milk, we got our sugar. Our cup, got a spoon here somewhere. Here's our spoon. We're going to make real good use of that spoon now in a few minutes, because I've got something that's a bit of a treat to me, something I used to have at lunchtime when I was working. While that water's boiling there, we'll get everything ready in the cup here. Well, you look at that. My milk has spilled again. I bought these containers on Amazon because they had a silicone seal. And I thought they were supposed to be tight and should be real good for this. Apparently, they do leak. That's too bad. I'll throw it all in. There you go. I'm going to have to investigate that and maybe make a new gasket for it. See if I can get it to stay tight. Looks like our water is boiled. Shut off our stove here. There we go. And we'll get our drop of tea poured up. There we go. That's going to be a good cup of tea. Do have a few flies around here though. Now, my treat today, I saw down at Dominion. Went in to get an apple, but then I saw these yogurts there. Yogurts with strawberries and blueberries. And I thought, no, not the apple. That's good for me. This is probably less good for me, but this is some shocking good. You know, I've been standing here for the past couple minutes just looking around, taking in the sights, and thinking about what we have. Now think about it. We'll leave a place like this. We'll spend thousands of dollars to go someplace where there's a warm water, warm beach, and a few palm trees. And right here, I am maybe 10 minutes drive from a town that's big enough to have a mall, a Tim Hortons, Starbucks, and so on. I've walked for about 40 minutes or so to get here. It's just over a mile down the old railway track. I have the comfort of a hot cup of tea, yogurt, strawberries. This right here is what so many people in this world desire. To have a place where you've got nature, you've got crystal clear water, you're close to civilization, but yet you're out where it's just plain peaceful. Just imagine how many people spend thousands to come right here. And we have it right in our backyard. I think more people need to get out and enjoy places like this. Enjoy a cup of tea in a place like this. And just appreciate what we have. We've got a lot more than many people who live in these warm places that we often desire. Great country here, great country. That was a nice little break from life. It's good to get away every few days like this, and smell the fresh air, hear the nature, feel freedom in your blood. All right. I'm going to wear my sweater back and we'll determine after if I'm going to wear my jacket or not. There we go. And this guy. I mentioned the meaning of this old knapsack back in the first episode that I did. One of these days while I'm sitting down, we'll talk about it again. You know, getting back to what I was saying earlier, we have a fantastic backyard here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Get out and enjoy it. Many of my hikes take 2 or 3 hours, And I see some stuff that it leaves memories with me. That'll be there till I'm gone. Just look. Here on the Avalon Peninsula, you don't find too many ponds that have beaches that aren't man-made. And look down there. Nice big beach right across the end of the pond. Little brook running out. You can see where the brook runs up along by that cabin. I mean, how nice is that? How nice is that? Beautiful. What a day. But that wasn't a bad walk today. Nice little boil up. Got to have that yogurt dessert there. That was really good for lunch, actually. Really set off a few thoughts about the history of this area and back in the days when the train used to come through here. It's a great place for walking because, you know, being a rail bed, there's no grade that's any more than a couple degrees. So I'm glad we got the afternoon to do this walk. Got some bad weather coming in for the next couple of days. I'm doing a bit of work on the computer, a bit of editing. But for now, you guys take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time.